What's good, people? It is the host with the most, Mr. What He Go Do Next. Another episode of Spotlight Podcast. Now, one thing about Spotlight Podcast, it's not normal. We don't just sit and talk about the basic things. We have guests that has a lot to say. We have artists that want to not just only promote their music, but as well as have things to say about not just the community, but people and things going on within the world. Because people, believe it or not, you have a voice and you have things to say and things to express. Excuse my mess up. But today we're going to the East Coast. Now, this gentleman, this artist coming to the stage. I mean, the resume is long. I mean, he's been in magazine covers, digital magazines, five, six, seven mixtapes, awards. I mean, one of his main slogans is "I'm bringing lyricism back." Now that's a tall order for what is going on in 2025 and what has started with hip hop back in the day. But we're going to Pittsburgh on this, and so without further ado, I'm bringing to the stage RapStarr, A.K.A. Hurricane Cam. What's up, my guy?
Yo, what's up, man? I like that intro, man. That's dope, yo. For real, for real.
Yeah,
That's dope, man. Appreciate you.
man, no problem. Let's jump right into it, man. Like I said, one of the comments you made was lyricism. Let's jump into it. Talk to me. Talk to the people.
Man, it's all about the lyricism, man. Like it's crazy. Like as an MC, you gotta determine what do you want to be, or determine the artists that you see. Are they hip hop artists? Like, are they MCs, hip hop artists, rappers? Like, there's different, stages of it. And when you get the most um intellectual thought process, not only within the lyricism, but also the cadence, also the rhyme scale. Like this is a part of hip hop,
Right.
and a lot of people they forget that rap is a part of hip hop. Like rap is like if you look at it, you got the five elements of hip hop. Think of rap as one of the fingers. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have rap without hip hop because that's one of the elements of hip hop. So when we have artists that go and like me, I'm not only a lyricist, but I'm a writer. I write my own shit. And that's something that you gotta be. If you gunning for the top, trying to be number one, you gotta have the pen. You can't have nobody writing for you. Can't you can have that, but if you can't say that you the best MC out there, and somebody else is helping you with it, that's not how it goes.
You know what? I can definitely agree on that because okay, wait. Actually, I agree, but that's a double edged sword. So what if you got an MC and I think I want to present this to be an MC, you do have to write your own lyrics. That's facts. I can't go against that. But what if
Mhm.
you're a good MC, but you can't put your stuff in the right amount of words, but you got the showmanship? What do you do?
Then you could be a good MC, but you can't say that you're the best lyricist. That's the difference. Like being the best MC,
Okay.
there's great MCs, like old school MCs that had other people writing for themselves, other people writing for them. I believe LL Cool J wrote uh MC Light's verse on Self Destruction, the song back in the day, so
Really?
we have, not saying that these artists who didn't write all of these songs aren't legends, but you cannot say that I'm a lyricist because that means you're actually putting the pen in the pad and these are your words coming out. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. You could be the best MC you can be. You could rock the crowd if that's how you are. You rock the crowd. You the crowd rocker. Go out there and do your thing, boy. Uh, if you the hype man, go ahead and do your thing, but you can't say that you the best MC or the best artist, or not even the best artist, but the best lyricist. You can't say that you the best lyricist and you don't write your own joints. It, can somebody say that they are a graffiti artist if they never actually sprayed? They just had somebody else spray the joint and they
Fact.
just write their name on it and be like, "Yo, I'm a graffiti artist," but I had somebody else, I started it and somebody else, it's the collaboration then.
Right. Right.
you know. So
And
it's
I
just
can't.
like if you put it in an aspect like that.
Okay. Born and raised in Pittsburg, or did you move there?
No, I've been here. I've been here. Actually, I am actually the second generation away from the Florida Seminole Native American Reservation.
Okay.
Like my grandfather, like my dad's father, was born in Florida. He came and he married my grandmother. I think she was from, I forgot, I think she was from Tennessee, I think, but she was already in Pittsburgh, and they met there. And so I have family, of course, here in Pittsburgh, Florida, New York, Brooklyn, um, certain parts of Virginia, Puerto Rico,
Okay.
some spread out
I can,
everywhere.
I can definitely tell that you had a little bit of different mixture in you just from the way you sound and look and everything. But I know a lot of people live in certain areas for a certain amount of time, and they either wasn't born there and whatnot. Because like I used to be up in Pittsburgh, but a lot of
Mhm.
people don't hear much about Pittsburgh if it ain't Steelers or Wiz Khalifa,
Yo,
things in that.
yo, I peeped that. Yo, check this out. I say Pittsburgh is the most known, not known city, because if you watch television and movies and everything, they say Pittsburgh in a lot of like in a lot of shit, referring to us. They say Pittsburgh. Like I remember watching Frasier. You remember Frasier, right? The show Frasier back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of my joints. He
yeah.
was offering an advice to somebody. He was like, go off and do new things, explore new places, see what everybody's talking about Pittsburgh. He just dropped a line like that. But when I usually do, not all the time, but sometimes, a lot of the times when I do interviews, I get mixed up. Somebody be like, yo, RapStarr from Philly, Philadelphia. And I'll be like, nah, man, I'm not from Philly. Like, yo, Steelers, just think of Steelers, son. I was like, if you don't think of anything else, think of Steelers, yo. It is crazy because people are like, yo, Philadelphia. Be like, no. I mean, there's some family members, like my wife's, family members, they'll be like, how's Philadelphia? I don't know. It's 4 hours east from me. I don't know. Like,
But it's easy to get mixed up because I can't lie. The way Pittsburgh talk, you think Philly, you think New York. Like there's no
nah.
question.
Well,
Talk.
okay. I tell you this. I tell you this. Yes and no. I'm gonna give you a little bit of history. Hold on. Let me
Right?
sip my.
True.
I'm gonna sip my tea real quick. I'm gonna sip my tea real quick. Hold on. Okay. Are you familiar with the gold rush? Remember the gold rush?
Coming back to 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speak on it.
I went to a college, graduated back in 2014 with a bachelor's in history, specializing in African American, Latino, and Native American history. There's a history on the route. It's called Route 40. I went to a school. It was called California University of Pennsylvania. It is the first named California school more than any other West Coast school that you can think of in California that's named California. And the reason why is because that Route 40, was that main route that connected the East Coast to the West Coast so they can go get the shit. That's why they called it California University of Pennsylvania, because that was the route, the main route that go directly to, on the West Coast to California for them to get it. I'm telling you this because Pittsburgh is like an East Coast, West Coast city a little bit. Me and
Facts.
my cousins, we have debates about it because they think Pittsburgh is Midwest, and it's like, if Pennsylvania is East Coast and if Philly is East Coast, why is it Pittsburgh East Coast? Why? Because we closer to Ohio than we are New York? That's bullshit, man. I said that's bullshit. I said you could Google that shit and they say Pittsburgh is an East Coast city. So what I mean by it's an Easty West Coast city, back in the 80s and 90s, the gangs in Pittsburgh started like really, really heating up back in the 80s and 90s. I come from an area, called Homewood. And back in the day, it was, I mean, it's still like gentrification. There's certain parts of Homewood they're actually upgrading, but the main strip is, that's the spot, that's the action.
Right.
But back in the day, the gangs, the Bloods and the Crips was so crazy that, like, my dad told me that they had to get cops from LA to come out here to train the policemen out here to deal with gangs. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened, it was something like that. But also, it also kind of like certain parts of Pittsburgh kind of remind me of New York City, like the Hill
Mhm.
District. If you know the Hill District, the history of the Hill District of Pittsburgh. I actually did I think I did a project on this in college, and I was talking about the differences, or not the difference, but the similarities between the Hill District and Harlem, New York. Harlem, New York, at the same time, there was a Harlem Renaissance in New York, but it was also a Renaissance that even started maybe a little bit earlier in Pittsburgh. We had the same, like New York has what? Langston Hughes, we have August Wilson. You know what I'm saying? So we have a lot of that culture that's going on. So that's like where you get that East Coast, that East Coast feel. It's a money making city. It's a hard
Mm.
blue collar city. You gotta work for what you got. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I always be telling people, I say, yo, it's East Coast. It's East Coast, man.
Hey, listen, like I said, when I was coming up here heavy, yeah, it's definitely East Coast. I used to be listening to y'all. I look over like, you from B-more? They're like, nah, born and raised here. I be like, shh, I can't tell. But I know Homewood 10 years ago. I don't know what it's like now, but man,
It's
Homewood was
it's
wild.
like I said, it's gentrified now. There's certain parts, like if you know what Point Breeze is, that shit is all decked out. Like they got new homes and everything like that. I know because I gotta drive through that motherfucker to get to work. I work at Home Depot. So
Okay.
I see the same motherfuckers in the hood at Home Depot buying shit to fix houses and shit like that. Like one of my homies, one of my Mexican homies, they actually live on the same street my grandmother lived when I was a kid, you know. And so like I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. But I live not only in Homewood, but I lived in Wilkinsburg too. That's just the community next over. You know, my mom, she also lived in the suburbs. Lived out there for a minute. I'm still out in the suburbs, but I work in the city too. So
I mean, Pittsburgh could definitely be like East Coast because y'all got too many goddamn tunnels and bridges. Just like you got to
we
go across.
actually the most we don't I think the most city that got the most bridges.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you got to go
The
across a
city
bridge.
that
You be
got
in a
the
whole
most
different
bridges.
area, a whole different island, and go across a tunnel to that. Like, ah, hell,
Yep. And Pittsburgh was, used to be the number one in steel production. Not only steel production, we used to be the number one in glass production and coal production too.
facts. So let's talk
Oh,
about what's up.
one more thing for all you Jehovah Witnesses out there, y'all can blame Pittsburgh for that too, because you know, nah, Google it, man. Like the Jehovah Witnesses, like I be looking, I be like, yo, how you worship a religion that's not even older than the city, bro? like,
Facts.
but nah, for the Jehovah Witnesses, Google it. Jehovah Witnesses started, I think, with the Amish or the Quakers or something like that. The people that look like the dude on the oatmeal box. Thanks,
Yeah, the
thanks to them.
Amish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, for people that don't know, explain growing up hip hop in Pittsburgh.
You know what? It was no different than growing up in any other city listening to hip hop. The only difference is it was in Pittsburgh. Um, but I had a push because both of my parents, they got me into hip hop. Like my mom subliminally got me into hip hop because of her occupation. She worked in two radio stations. So these were the only two radio stations that was in Pittsburgh. It was Whammo, and she worked at WCXJ. Now, Whammo, she didn't work in the music side. She actually worked in the news department called Sheridan Broadcasting Network. My mom was a journalist. She was in that. So if you remember back in the day when they would have the radio stations, and inside the radio station, they got the tapes that you put in the slots and everything. You got to go
Big
in.
boy.
Yeah. Them. I was around that. I helped my mom with that. I was around all of that. The talk show host that came in, that she would have to, produce for. It was like that. Like I said about Frasier. It was something like Frasier, multiple times. Then she also married a guy later on, my stepfather. He was also in the radio. He worked at an all talk radio. And so just me being around the business of radio kind of gravitated towards me. Like I was getting boxes of singles, man. They used to give me boxes of singles, man. And when I mean singles, I ain't talking about a cigarette or a Lucy. I'm talking about records that actually had the actual hit on the record. It had the instrumental, the album cut, the radio cut, the acapella. I had a bunch of them. Like I had Jay-Z, 50, Joe, Khalees. Like I had a whole. They used to give me about a boxes, so it was crazy. So not only that, my father, he really pushed me out there. So just imagine 96, 97. It's summertime, Pittsburgh, and it's like July. You and your dad's Cadillac riding shotgun. He got the wood grain. And as he's driving, he's banging Bone Thugs and Harmony. He's banging, Biggie. He's banging Nas. He's banging LL Cool J. He's banging Snoop Dogg. He's banging Daz, Corrupt, the Dog Pound. He's banging Nate Dogg. He's banging Warren G. He's banging Tupac. He's banging Too Short. He's banging, DJ Quick. He's banging West Side Connection. He's banging Cube. He's banging Foxy Brown. He's banging Little Kim. And don't get it twisted. It wasn't just hip hop. He'd go to the R&B too. He would Kim. He would get, Kim. That's K-E-M. Y'all don't know. That's Kim. He also used to play a lot of Jodeci, a lot of Guy, a lot of Blackstreet. So I was bombarded with all of that music, all of that great music. So why else wouldn't I, feel like I'm gonna gravitate towards this culture? And that was.
I mean, because I mean, a lot of people can get to it or gravitate to it, but to actually want to be involved in it, that's a different level.
Well, that's like with anything, I used to play baseball for 10 years since I was when I was 3 up until 13. When you actually want to go do something, and it's crazy because you have people who have skills in anything that they do. I'm a hip hop artist, and the things that I had to practice for that, and I had to gradually build myself as an MC. I had to influence. Like my top influence is Eminem. Like I started rapping because I watched the 8 Mile soundtrack. That wasn't like the start. Like that was the start of it. Like me watching 8 Mile, and I was influenced by it because Eminem was already my favorite rapper at the time, and still is. But at that time, like that was him. Like yo, and then when I heard him, that's when I was like, I'm gonna give rap a try. And then it wasn't until soon after when 50 Cent got signed with Shady, and that was like, that's how I was like, okay, this is what I really want to do, for real. So that was how it sparked.
So before Eminem, who was it that you kind of took too far as hip hop?
You know what? I was a 90s baby, so I like 90s shit, bro. Like it wasn't just like my favorite artist. I was a fan of the 90s, bro. Like I would be listening to let's say I'll be listening to Biggie. Next thing, I'll be listening to Britney Spears. 1 minute, I'm listening to the Backstreet Boys. The other minute, I'm listening to Jodeci. Next minute, I'm listening to Jodeci. I'm listening to TLC. And not only hip hop, I also like 90s country. I don't even like country for real, for real. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even like country beef, like for real. But something about the 90s produced great music no matter what genre it was. Rock too.
Facts. 100%. I agree with you.
For some reason, between the 80s and 90s, every genre of like whatever kind of music you can think of was hitting at that time. I don't know what it was.
And it's fact. I agree with you because, and you're the first person that said that. A lot of people don't, but from 1980 to 2000, every genre was pumping on all cylinders. Pure facts.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't hate. Even when you go to jazz, you had Kenny G. like god damn. Like it was crazy. Like, yo, like every genre has something popping. In every genre. You couldn't get away from it. Like it was crazy. It was something about the 80s and the 90s I really popped like that.
And that's funny you said that, man, because the Kenny G was on BET. If people don't remember, he was on BET. Songbird was on BET. Facts.
Yo. You know how many people was conceived of that music, son? Like the fuck, man.
And Michael Bolton, low key.
Yo.
Yeah, I know my history.
I think he's funny. I think he's funny looking than a motherfucker. But yo, that song right there, like you remember those soul ballads? Remember those soul ballad commercials that be up like late at night, and all of a sudden you hear Luther Vandross and you hear all the songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that good love music. Like yo, remember waking up to that shit? And we like yo. So it's like, yo, it's a nostalgia for me. So that's why I make the music the way I make, because I'm even my style is updated, but I got that old school, style. I'm 34. There's people 25 calling me OG. I be like, whoa, wait a minute, son. I ain't even think myself that I even made it to a G. I don't even want to be called an OG. I don't think I'm there yet.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Two things. One, Michael Bolton was the only white dude with a mullet / we don't know what type of hairdo. And two, I'm not gonna lie. I listened to the music a couple of times, and it is nostalgic because I'm like, okay, if you close your eyes and listen to it, it got that Killer Bee sound, a little bit of Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, but then it got like a '90s style, like damn, what was that rapper's name again? Or kind of make somebody got to scratch their head. Like I remember that he kind of hitting on that, and then to actually hear you talk, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. It's all nostalgic, bro. I came from here now, but I'm gonna keep it a beam. Like the fit you wearing, it's dope. That's straight Dipset in my eyes. I ain't gonna front on you. I hope you're a Dipset fan. If you're a Dipset fan, we got to end this.
Nah. I love Dipset. The funny thing is, my name is Cameron.
There it is. That answers my question.
My name is Cameron. Anybody out there whose name is Cameron, your nickname is Killer Cam to somebody.
Facts.
I work with 2 other Camerons, and we all call each other Cam or Killer Cam.
And we know it's so funny, but before Cameron hit the scene, that's who you was. That was your name, Cameron.
That was
it. Nothing else. After he hit the scene, now you're Cam.
That was it. But I will tell you, I'm more of a G-Unit fan than a Dipset fan. G-Unit, man, what? When I was in high school, you could ask anybody in high school, man. I was the one rocking I had the bulletproof vest on, a real one. I had the bulletproof vest on. I had the G-Unit beater. I had the G-Unit spinner chain. Man, them niggas used to call me Lloyd Banks, yo.
Okay, see, ladies and gentlemen, the interview is about to be over. Y'all wish RapStarr good night. Some bullshit. But I'm not going front. G-Unit has some cuts. You cannot deny that. It has some cuts. As a over Dipset, nah. We can debate on this one. We can go. 50 was a bad boy. Banks had lyrics. Tony Yayo was crap. Bucks was cold.
Whoa. Yayo was not crap, yo. I ain't even gonna let you. Yo, Yayo. Here's the thing about Yayo.
What's up?
People don't like his voice. He's really an ill rapper, bro. You gotta go check them old G Unit freestyles when they was on Hot 97, yo. There was a point in time where 50 on the radio was like, yo, Banks, come with it. Yayo shining right now. Yo, here's the thing about G Unit. Now,
what's up?
For one, Get Rich or Die Trying was the best hip hop debut album since Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style.
Fair enough.
Okay. Number two, the fact that how he got on was the mixtapes. Now, Dipset did come out with him first early on in that year in 2003. 50 in the G Unit came out in that summer.
Right.
But 50 have dominated the mixtape game. Like, take away from the hits and the albums. G Unit Radio, there's 25 volumes of G Unit Radio. And not only there's 25 volumes of G Unit Radio, the DJ turned the mixtape into a radio show on Hot 97 called G Unit Mixtapes, G Unit Radio, G Unit Saturdays.
Facts.
Playing on XM Radio. Eminem, Shade 4-5. That's still going on today. They made a movement. G Unit made a movement. Like, in one of 50's verse, he said, what? He said, everybody's following Kanye. He said something about, in 03, I had them niggas wear vests. Now these niggas wear dresses. Ah! I take it back to the essence free of charge, niggas. So lost niggas is stressing my 50's crazy, son. And
I ain't from he got the bars.
I be arguing with people. I said, 50. I said, y'all just be waiting for. I said, 50 got that flow. Like, one of my favorite joints he did. It was on this one joint called it was a freestyle, and he was freestyling on the Notorious. It was the Notorious B.I.G. song, but it was Junior Mafia singing, and he said something like, "If I make it to heaven, I'll probably be in this bitch lonely. Walk around, say everybody in hell know me. You heard it, Banks. You heard it, yeah, yo, them niggas my Codys. They probably thinking how he get there. That nigga my Cody. You know the hell's kind of like jail. You know, like the block. I heard it really burns, Hermie. You know, like the shot. But that's all right with me, shit, because I'm on the drop. I'm driving around, trying to find bigger pot. Niggas think when you die, homie, your problem stop. You die in jail, wake up in hell, still on lock. Imagine if you stole something and you got shot. Wake up in hell, holding your head, still shot. Niggas that die of AIDS, you know the dirty dick. Wake up in hell, horny, finna fuck the same bitch. Damn.
I'm not gonna take it away from G Unit. And then when they got
like anybody you know, G Unit, boom, we ain't hit. Like, that was my shit. Like, you don't understand. Like, when I left high school, right? Graduated from high school. Somebody actually, I got it in my closet too. Somebody created like a big banner, and the banner's metallic on both sides. And there's the G Unit letters that's written like right across on both sides. Like, that's like I'm really like that much of a G Unit fan.
You wore the sneakers, didn't you? You wore the Reeboks, didn't you?
No, I didn't wear the sneakers. I had everything else but the sneakers. I had the G Unit fitteds, the G Unit chains, the G Unit watches, G Unit earrings, G Unit bracelet. I had G Unit jackets. I had the G Unit Dickies. Yeah, I had G Unit Dickies. Yo, I still be rocking the beater, son. What you talking about? What are you talking about?
Beater. That motherfucker was tighter than an average beater at that.
Man. Yes, yo. You got the bill for it, man. Yo, it was crazy, yo. It's crazy. Yo, I used to love that shit. Going to the park doing upside down sit-ups and shit like the In the Club video.
The people be what's so funny is when people see East Coast videos, they think that shit just be for the video. No, motherfuckers really be at a stop sign or a pole doing pull-ups or at a park doing that shit's real.
Me,
That ain't no
I remember like before I went to college, I was in the hood and I I ended up befriending this older Puerto Rican dude. I would be at the park, and every time I be at the park doing pull-ups, he would come moments later and he'd be doing like, you know, his sets and everything like that. So every day that we was there, we was kind of like, you know, pumping each other up. Okay, get da 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 da. Of course, at that time, I still had the bulletproof vest on. So, like, I was like, yo. So, so I was like, but like it was just crazy, you know. The mixtape game really took me and I learned how to write the rhymes, you know, not only just with Who Kid, but with DJ K Slay, RIP, you know, P Cutter with the Street Wars, DJ Envy, DJ Nuff. If people don't even really understand because they see DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club, but he was slinging mixtapes, you know, back in the early 2000s. We was copping that shit. Same with Clue.
And that's what's missing nowadays with hip hop is the mixtape. I mean, because now it's a singles era, and you could blow up off a single, but back then mixtapes, you went to the mom and pop or even the bootleg, man. What's new? Who DJ Green Lantern got? What Kid Capri? Oh, that's Funk Flex. Let me get that. And that's DJ Jelly Monte, and pop it in and go. That's how you stayed up on facts.
And that was like that was it. Like the mixtape game. Like I'm so proud to be raised in that era right there. Cause like we will never get that back, yo. And like that's what I'm trying to do. Like at least I'm trying to bring back some of the fucking honesty in the fucking business, you know, back. Cause it seems like everybody's a gimmick. I tell everybody, I be like, almost every rapper, if you notice, every rapper has some kind of gimmick that sells you into whatever they're trying to sell or buying.
Right.
You know, why it gotta be a gimmick.
Facts. Let's talk about your music. One thing I've noticed about your music, you push peace, you push positivity, you push peace, you push community, and especially for the black and brown community, you push very heavy for that. That's that's different for 2025 because it's kind of like a everybody's following that same formula or somewhat taking nuggets from it to get on. The way you come out is not just nostalgic, but it's kind of like, damn, I do remember when it was music for the community or about the community. Let's talk about where did you start with that and why that route?
Again, it started with my parents. My parents is pro-black. You know what I'm saying? I will often have conversations with other black people, and I would ask them, you know, what was some of the images that you grew up like with in the household? Like every day when you would walk in the house or you would get up out of your bed and you would go through your house, what were some key images? Like what was going on? And I would, you know, hear people, oh, I had the Bible, the cross, you know, this. I didn't wake up with the Bible or the cross, even though my grandfather on my dad's side, my grandfather's father, this is the Seminole Native American, uh, he had his own church. He was a minister in the Hill District.
Okay.
And I'm actually, the funny thing is, I'm actually an atheist, actually, for real.
What?
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. And so when I get to something like that and I go off and I wake up, I didn't wake up with the Bible. I went to church. My mom made me go to church, but I didn't wake up with things like that. I woke up with African art. I woke up to King Tut looking at me. I woke up to Shaka Zulu. I woke up to, you know, pyramids. I woke up to Anubis. I woke up to Queen Nefertiti. All of these, things, in my room when I was like maybe I want to say the age 8, 9. I had a big poster of Hannibal. If big poster, big strong black guy sitting on top of an elephant with millions of troops behind him. This was the things that I grew up watching as I was a kid that was in my household. And my father very early taught me about, our ancient ancestors over in what we call Africa, aka Kush, Kemet, you know,
Hmm.
you know, the Sun era, Ethiopia, the African Egyptian, people. And like I said, I'm a historian too. So within my music, of course, the shit's gonna spill out because I'm like this even when I'm not writing, you know. So I just want to spread like positivity and self because yes, it is lacking. And growing up, I just remember like so much positivity, even though we was in the hood. In Homewood, we used to have this parade, this big festival called Harambe, and it was an African festival. It had African dancers, it had African food, African art, African gifts that they would sell and everything. We would go every year, and it was something that brought the community together. And I think that's the big thing that's missing within our community is community, because everybody's so standoffish. You can be living next to a neighbor and you might not give a fuck about them just because you don't give a fuck about them just because they live next to you. It wasn't like that, you know. So like I said, that nostalgia, I'm just trying to bring that shit back in all aspects.
I can definitely dig that. One thing you said that caught my attention was you were talking about what was inside the home, and that
Mhm.
is true. Because now when you go in people's houses or something, or you watch a video or movie, it's you don't have those pieces or that art or that artifacts in the house no more. Conversation piece. It's kind of like again, selective people got it, or it's like a lost art. And I definitely get. I like the fact you said that because, like I said, as a kid, you had certain things on the wall or certain things at people's houses, and you knew what it was. You were taught that. Now it's kind of like the new generation, got to get rebooted, but they fighting it. Like they don't want to really learn about it. They content where they at. Like they don't want to open that other section of their brain, if that makes sense. I'm
And
not putting them.
sadly, there's some of the older generations too that's still stuck in their ways. But you gotta understand. When people are ignorant, you know they tend to lead with their ignorance because it's comfortable. Because if they go out and they actually do the research or actually, come to an understanding that everything that they've been thinking thus far might be wrong, it's a hard pill to swallow. And it's just with any aspect. So it's like, let's say you'll have like a racist European American, say something about how the European American race is superior to anybody else. And it's be like, you didn't create nothing. Everything was created by other people.
Right.
Factually, like this is facts. Like can't sweep this under the rug, but it just doesn't make sense. So
Um, one of the songs I do want to talk about is "Power to the People." The way
mm,
you begin that song is not just. It's not What's the word I want to say? It's not part of the it's not the way a normal song would be started. It's not the process. Like the first thing he said, I want to make an anthem. So when somebody hear that, they expecting right after that a banger to come in. But when you look at the title, "Power to the People," and I want to make an anthem, it's already two different situations. But you put them together and then you just let it flow. Let's talk
mm.
about it. How did that come about?
That was Power to My People was actually the first professional recording I actually released. I released that on my birthday, February 7th, about like 3 years ago. And I wanted my first record to have a statement about me, like first impressions, like what kind of artist I want to be. And you know, I felt like it's my duty as an MC to like show my talent, but not only just with the lyricism or anything, but I just want to like give a message. And that's what hip hop, is all about. Actually, like to be honest with you, some of these songs, like that format, you could find that in older hip hop, like older form of hip hop. Like I don't know if you remember the song with Don Omar. It was called a reggaeton Latino remix. It had Fat Joe on it, Lady A, Nori was on there. It was when reggaeton was like really big. It was around like 03, 04, 05. It was a real big record. And in the beginning of that record, Don Omar say, it's not about making a hit, it's about making a classic. And that was like my attitude. Like, it's not about making a hit, I want to make an anthem. Like, anytime you feel like our people's getting oppressed, and what do you say what black people do? Power to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Power to my people. You can't get any. And the single cover got me wearing a Black Panther jacket. So,
Okay. Right.
and I'm uniting. I'm not just talking about the black Africans, because the thing, excuse me, that I hate about some pro black people is sometimes they'll be so pro black that they can't understand another black person in the front of their face just because they don't meet your criteria of what a black person is supposed to look like. Black people come in any shades, sizes, and everything like that. We are the original people. We make every goddamn color. So when I hear a pro-black person say, Puerto Ricans ain't black, Cubans ain't black, Mexicans ain't black, I'm like, yo, y'all don't even really know who y'all talking about, son. Like, I just had to break it down. I seen a video on Instagram, and it was this melanated woman, and she was cool, but I didn't like her delivery. She was saying something about Puerto Ricans and Puerto Ricans not being black, even though they got black ancestry, this, that, and the third. And it's like, mama, you really don't know your history. Like, black, the term black does not just exclusively mean the Africans that are born in America. That's an English word. Black, that means anybody with African descent. Black, when you go and you fill out the census and shit like that, and you put in black, if you feel like that, you put in black, it says black/African. That means anybody with African ancestry. But the United States has the ancestry messed up. Like, if you actually look where they have Caucasian, they list anybody from Europe, Egypt, India. India is considered European. Yeah, on when you fill out the joint. And then they like to throw a curveball, and they say you got to put in Native American. Like, I put in Native American, and it says Native American / Alaskan, or then they say Latino, not non-white. The fuck that even mean, man? I was like, first of all, like, people, they just don't know, they just don't understand words. Like, I tell people, I say, you could be a Latino, and you could be white, and you can be black. I said, the thing about it is, Latino is a culture. It's not an ethnicity. Like, it's a culture. So just like being black, like Black America, being black in America, that's a culture. That's a whole culture. And then we also got to understand, if you're quote unquote black or African American, we got to also understand African American is also a mixed race as well.
Facts.
That's it. Being African American only happened when they started bringing slaves to the United States, which I'll also be telling people, I said, and to take it even further, the North Atlantic slave trade started with the Portuguese and the Spanish. They were the first people to start the North Atlantic slave trade. England didn't start until 300 years later. By then, Mexico already had their first black president, Vicente Guerrero. Other Latin American countries started gaining their independence and abolishing their slavery long before United States did. So I'll be like telling people, I say, you so pro-black that you can't even identify or recognize a brother standing in your face just because he don't look like you a little bit, or he might look like you a little bit, but he speak a different language.
Hmm.
It's the colonizer's mind. They want to keep us separated, son. And I'm trying to bring that together.
Now, see, what did I say at the beginning of the show? You never know watching this show what you're going to run into. And the man just sat here and dropped nuggets, knowledge on y'all. When y'all get a chance, when this is over, watch it again. If you don't want to watch the whole episode, watch this part. And he just taught y'all something. And it's not, he didn't make it up. It's facts. It's right in everybody's face. It's just who wants to actually accept it and who wants to preach it. Do me a favor, man. Let everybody know your social media, where to find you, and how to contact you.
Man, starting with Facebook, you can hit me up on my Facebook fan page. I got 2 of them. Excuse me, but I'm only active in one. It's RapStarr, A.K.A. Hurricane Cam. That's RapStarr. A lot of people spell it wrong. Again, just like with the Pittsburg shit, thinking I'm from Philly. Every once in a while, somebody will misspell my name, even though my records have me. Some of my records have me saying RapStarr to the double R. Like, you can't be serious. But it's RapStarr. 2 R's at the end, A.K.A. Hurricane Cam. Hit me up on my YouTube, RapStarr. You can hit me up on my TikTok. It's Rap to the Store. That's ITSRAP, the number 2 THESTARR. It's Rap to the Store. It's also the same one from my Instagram too. My TikTok is crazy. I do like dedication hip hop videos. Like, it's gangster. Like, if you ever, like, I have like 2 magazines that I'm on the cover for. And what I do is I do hip hop dedication videos surrounding the event that I have. So I have my 8th and 9th magazine cover issue. And my 9th have me with my Afro puffs. I have Afro puffs in. And I have my Black Panther jacket on. I got Lady of Rage and Snoop Dogg singing Afro puffs in the background. It's crazy. What'd you say?
What's the information for the TikTok?
Oh, I just said it. It's Rap to the Store. It's ITSRAP, the number 2 THSTARR. It's Rap to the Store, and it's the same with my Instagram. And aside from the social media, I have my own website /EPK called It's Rap to the Store.com. I'm everywhere musically. Any music outlet. You talk about Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, iTunes, Shazam, Apple Music, TikTok library, Facebook library, Instagram library. I'm everywhere. Anywhere YouTube Music. Anywhere that you can find or generate music, I'm on that.
Let's talk about Happy Birthday Hip Hop. How did that concept come about?
That's my latest baby right there. I had this concept for a while. Being that I'm a hip hop artist and I love the culture and I love being a part of this culture. I wanted to do a happy birthday hip hop record. I actually wanted to do it on his 50th, but time got away from me. I was doing other projects, and then my life at that time was so busy with work that I literally had to literally take a vacation just so I can actually, get to some music. And when I finally wrote the record, shout out to my boy Sonny Brasco. He's the one that produced and engineered on the record. I bought the beat from him, and when I heard the beat for the first time, I was like, "Oh my god, this is grimy." I said, "This is some East Coast, feel right here. This is a vibe." And when I wrote the record, the funny thing is, when I wrote the record, I was intending it for it to be like be talking to like a big homie. But as I
Okay.
started writing, and I kind of like started writing to where it was more of a man female interaction. So I decided to go off based off of that. And when I put this record out there, some of my homies was like, "Yo, it kind of remind me of Common's I Used to Love Her." Like that kind of feel to it. And
I can see that.
so the concept for the record was me as an MC, a young MC, being infatuated, not like infatuated like that, but like in awe of this older woman that I grown to have a crush on through the years me growing up. She's hip hop. Being that hip hop is 52 years old, so I made her like a cougar, like a so like
Hmm.
that. And you know, when I wrote the record, I was like, I wanted to include everything that transpired from me being, in hip hop. So I included my mom, I included my parents, I included my mom working in the radio, my dad playing the hits. I remember all of these things, and these is like a trait. Like when you a kid and somebody's nice to you, you might have like a little crush on them, and that's exactly what it had. And then it went from that to me actually writing my first rhyme. My dad giving me my name. That's why I said it's like it was like arranged by both parents. It was like an arranged marriage. So my mom worked in radio. My dad gave me the hits. Boom, we together like that. And I just wanted to show like my appreciation for hip hop, and I wanted this to be an anthem. Like I said about Power to My People, I want this to be a record. Like if you can trace back any record that maybe because maybe somebody out there who is older than me and who might know a happy birthday hip hop record that's exclusively for the creation of hip hop. We have hip hop records that we could put on and be like, yo, this is a record we gonna play for hip hop's, 52nd birthday. We gonna put on that Naughty by Nature hip hop parade. This is what we gonna do. But specifically about the existence of hip hop, I couldn't find any. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I want this to be played every year on August 11th, the birth of hip hop.
Hmm.
So that was the angle that I was going.
I can dig that. Um, Actually, I like that. That's a you made a good comment on that one. Like, what record can be played once a year for hip hop? And it's like it's a couple of records that you would think about, but then when you think about listening to them, it doesn't really. It has the essence,
Mhm.
but it doesn't say hip
I,
hop.
I say I say me I would say the hip hop parade would be the closest. The
Really?
closest. Me, I would say, because hip hop, we give it hip hop today. This hip hop parade, ho,
Yeah.
so I would say it's one of the closest. But like I said, I wanted to really have something dedicated to the event at hand. And I would want this to be played every year. Like when you turn on the radio, Mother's Day is this summer. I mean, this Sunday, right?
Mhm.
How many people going to play Dear Mama?
I see what angle you're going with. Facts.
How many
Facts.
radio stations is going to play Dear Mama on Mama's Day?
Facts. If I had to choose a hip hop birthday song, it would be Planet Rock
Most deaf.
because it has the essence of early hip hop, the synth, the bass. It's a groove that everybody know is gonna keep you going. And if you are a big boy, you're gonna get down. I say that because what a lot of people don't realize is each generation of hip hop changes. Like when Planet Rock came out, they looked like Parliament Funkadelic.
Right. And then the crazy thing about it is that same beat that they have is also how freestyle music happened. You know about freestyle with Lisa and everything like that, right? You could turn on to a freestyle station and they still have that Planet Rock beat in the background, just with a Puerto Rican woman singing in the background.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how it was. I mean, even
because freestyle music comes from that early hip hop stage.
They dressed early hip hop, and then about '84, Run DMC changed that. LL changed that. But before, it was full-fledged outfit. Look at B Street, full-fledged outfit. As a matter of fact, give me your best hip hop movie. What is your number one hip hop movie you gotta watch at least once or twice a year? I just need one. Not a gangster movie, a hip hop movie. That's about rap and hip hop or b-boying. Ooh, look, he's stuck.
That's crazy because there's one that I absolutely have in particular. It's kind of obvious, but I watch hip hop documentaries too, and there's a lot of good ones. Like a lot of good ones.
I feel you, them, but I need a movie.
A movie?
Yes.
8 Mile.
Really? Fuck out of here. 8 Mile. Damn. I thought you was gonna dig in the crate on that one. You went straight to 8 Mile.
Okay. 8 Mile is the reason why I started
right. I can see that.
You know, because I was him. I was in the back of the school bus with my hoodie on, with my CD player on, in the back with my notebook writing. Like that was me. I was like, what? This was like 2003. I was 12.
If I gotta go, I'm two things. If I gotta go commercial hip hop movie, Crush Groove. Because it was about hip hop, but it's very commercial because everybody's seen it. But if I gotta go underground, I'm gonna say Wild Style. Because Wild Style, it showed the rap between Busy Bee and Mo D, which if you didn't have a cassette or never heard it, you won't know. So I'm gonna definitely go with them.
That's fair. That's definitely fair to say. That's definitely fair to say. There's this documentary that I it's literally a thing that I gotta watch over and over, and it's called The West Coast, and it talks about all like the main West Coast hip hop, starting off with Dr. Dre, but it goes back to when he was like Dr. Dre.
Wrecking Crew, the red outfit on.
Yeah. And it got like different people. Like they had people being interviewed, like not the artists themselves, but people who was around the crew. Like they actually had the dude who was actually in the fight with Dr. Dre and Michelet. He said Dr. Dre knocked him out too.
If you go back to a couple of my episodes, I got an interview with Arabian Prince from the original NWA.
Word?
Yeah, man, check it out, bro. Facts.
I got it. Oh, speaking of, the Mailman's from Pittsburgh. Remember the Mailman?
That was with Aftermath.
Yep, you could go on the Dr. Dre 2001 album cover, flip it in the back, and you can see him and Dre in the studio, in the album cover joint.
That's what's up.
I never met him, but growing up, that's one thing. Like my uncle, there was two rappers that he would always talk about: Mailman and LL Cool J. He said, "Ain't nobody fucking with LL Cool
Tell you
J."
fact. L, what? Listen, L still relevant to this day. His music is
L
classic,
L is another one of my influences. He's another one of my influences.
as he should be. I mean, listen, man.
I
If
rock
people
Bengals because of him. I got the rope chain because of him.
fact,
Like I got another chain I got right here because I'm a '90s baby. You know, yep, my chain right there. But
listen,
you know, like I grew up like my dad used to play the greatest it was the GOAT, the greatest of all time album, the LL Cool J joint. He played 10. He was playing all of them. Like my favorite verse out of LL is the I Shot Ya remix. Fucking what the fuck? I thought I conquered the world, crush Mo D, Hammer, and Ice T's girls. But still, niggas wanna instigate shit. I battle any nigga in the rap game quick. Name a spot. I'm making hot for you bitches. Female rappers too. And I don't give a fuck, boo. Word. Yo, yo. I was like, yo,
I
you feel like LL is like just killed this shit, yo.
oh yeah,
Like, yo,
L still get airplay in my playlist because all his music still dope. Like I said, if you
all
look at his album cover, he had the Jordan ones. Nobody didn't know what that was. They just like, no, still Nike, them Jordan ones, and then he went on. But speaking of bars, what you got for me? Spit something.
spit some. Okay.
Yep. What you got? What rap star gonna shoot
Let me
today?
see. Let me
Hurricane
see.
Cam.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Um, Give me the 9 milli to smoke your niggas like Philly screaming. What's the dilly? I'm so hard you probably gonna have to kill me, but that's alright. Cause I'll get on the track with hold up. Get on a knife, get on a track with Wayne and spit a verse sharper than a butcher's knife. This is my birthplace. This is your doomsday and light. LL's group, they must sit back and blow a cool J. You playing games, ma. I'm gonna go out and mingle, cause you ain't gotta be a queen to be living single. Most of these players are retarded. You need to take SATs to shoot attended target, cause you shooting shots so they missing, nigga. You probably couldn't hit him if you was born with telescope vision. It's rap to the star, you know where I be. Pittsburg, the PIWT, from the HOMEWOOD. Man, you know I get it crazy with the flow. I get the pen and pad. Y'all know you try to get me mad, but I'm just right here in my pad doing a podcast interview. You know you want to get an interview too. Just hop on the phone and holler at my dude. You know how we get it. We chew you niggas like food because you know we rude. We about to come up. We run up. Don't get fucked up. I'm like GU in the back of the day and be like, what up, cuz?
Right here on Spotlight Podcast with RapStarr, A.K.A. Hurricane Cam in the building. Yeah, yeah. What's the next project, my guy?
Oh man. Right now I've been just coming out with singles. So like so far I got Power to My People. I got 1990-ish. Oh man, 1990-ish is that's my joint. 1990-ish. Then I got Political Statement, Happy Birthday Hip Hop. Just released a feature with Lady V called Stay Drip. Next after that, August 13th is I got a record called Indigenous Nation. This is another song that's an anthem. And if you recognize the date, August 13th, that's Indigenous Peoples Day, ex-Columbus Day. So I'm dropping it then, and that's a record dedicated to my ancestors too. Um, right now I got a couple records stuck in limbo. I got a song dedicated towards my stepson who passed. Um, After that, I got a record that I'm redoing called '90s Baby featuring Lily the Goddess. And then after that, I'll be coming out with some new joints. Out of all this bullshit that been going on, I'm really going to be like, really like digging in. Like it's going to be like some Illmatic shit. Like I'm aiming towards that. On some KRS-One shit. Like that's the type of shit that I'm on.
But which KRS one? Which KRS? Are we gonna do the teacher or the blast master? It's two. When you
No,
gonna be?
teacher,
Yeah, you know the difference, my guy.
teacher.
Okay, I gotta salute that. A lot of people like, for real? Nah, it's two of them. One person two different personalities, but he rocked it. Man, I definitely appreciate you taking your time to rock with us today, man. And not only did you rock the mic, you rock the knowledge. And for people who pay attention to this, man, pay attention to what he's saying and what he's doing, because he's not only trying to teach you and reach you, he's pretty much bringing, like I said, lyricism back to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Now you part Seminole, I'm part Apache, man. That's why I was listening to you like, that's what's up. That's
Oh
what's
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah. That's what's you part of Pat. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up for real. Like I got like
Yeah, bro.
I'm trying to actually because I got married at a powwow.
Really?
Yeah.
It's different. Hmm.
Yeah. So I ended up befriending this woman who's also Seminole. And there's a Native American school in Pittsburg. It's like in Fox Chapel.
Okay.
And the Native American school, they do funding. They get funding. And I ended up speaking with them, and it was thanks to my, because I didn't even know, I heard about it, but my mom, she actually took me up there the first time, and I was a part of, like, I got to see everything. It was my first time being at a powwow.
Okay.
And about a few years later, um me and my wife, we got married right at that, where they, in the school where they actually do the powwow joint. And the shaman, he's Taino, like us, and my wife, because she's Puerto Rican too. He's Taino from Cuba.
Hmm.
So he went and he married, and he's also an artist too. He does salsa and Native American spirituals.
Okay.
And I performed at his album cover. I performed at his not the album cover, but I performed at his album release party. He had an album release party. And I actually performed my song Indigenous Nation right on that stage. And my boy Sonny Brasco, who produced Happy Birthday Hip Hop, he was in attendance with me. And he looked at me and he was like, "Bro, I didn't know how big of an impact this record could be." Like, he was like, "I know it's good, but," I said, "Bro," I said, "this is all my peoples here." Like, of course,
Mhm.
they go ride out. And the crazy thing about it is, it's a sample from the Sugar Hill Gang's Apache.
Ha. Yep. Jam on it. My
And don't
birthday.
and don't worry, I got all the sample. I got all the samples cleared, bro. I got all the samples cleared. Can't sue me.
Really?
Really, I got the
That's
samples cleared.
and I say that because I know it's hard to get a clearance on a lot of samples, but especially with any Sugar Hill product, because a lot of people are passed on, as well as it's just like hard to reach the family. But how did you pull that one off?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna drop something on y'all. Right.
Go ahead. What's
For
up?
one,
Speak.
I will say this: praise to the ancestors. You have side money to offer. I didn't have side offer, but I had to see what was out there.
Okay.
Go to a website called Easy Song. Easy Song is a website that has agents. You pay a fee. And these agents are the middleman that goes and talk to these companies, the publishing, the record companies.
Okay.
All you got to do is give them the information of the record that sampling, and your version of the song, and then they go out to these people. They try to find who they need to contact, and once they contact, it's like a game of cat and mouse, because the shit took long as hell. I ain't even gonna lie. The whole dance and the emails took at least about 5-6 months.
Damn.
You know, and they offered me nothing. They told me I didn't have to pay anything. They said I can they're giving me the rights audio, and they gave me the contract. I got the contract and everything like that. They said audio you can have, but you're gonna need other licensing to do that, to get other licensing for you to do that, because you might need licensing for a video. We don't offer the video, we're only giving you the audio, so you got to go to somebody else for that thing. After you do that, after I had to do that, I had to go to the Harry Fox agency. Those are the people who do the samplings and everything, like the sample clearances and everything. And they ask you the information that the document that the peoples give you. It's like the receipt that they give you with the documents of the contract. And on the contract, you plug in the numbers that they plug in to find the person who actually did the paperwork, and send it like that, get approved and everything. Um, that's just something that my management team, they kind of helped me with that, and I kind of did everything on my own. So being at this record, shout out to Mac Beats. I can't talk about this record and not talk about the producer who made the beat. Shout out to Mac Beats. I did this record previously with a different other producer, but the thing about it was I was so worried about the sampling that I was like, there's no way that they going to approve this and the beat is kind of like the same. So Mac Beats, he kind of took the beat, switched it around a little bit, made it, noticeable, but it still had its own flavor and style to it. And I just went in, rewrote the song from previous or what I had it before, went in the booth, recorded it. He sent it to him. He mixed it, mastered, made it sound incredible. And I had to do the sampling because this song is so big. Like I really understand. Like people don't understand. Like I really think that this song has that much of an impact that it's going to do something, and I have to do it justice by pushing it through. I wrote the shit. I paid to have it recorded.
Right.
Why not go with the process? This is not something I'm just going to bump in my car.
Right. All the way through as you should. So you actually never met the Robinsons or anything.
What did you say?
I said, so you actually never met the Robinsons or anything.
No.
I can dig that. Man, listen. Make sure y'all get on all the platforms. Hit the YouTube. Mess with RapStarr, A.K.A. Hurricane Cam. He got a lot
Yeah.
to say. And like he said, he got some new material coming out where he got more to say. I definitely need to check him out. And when y'all in Pittsburgh, y'all definitely check out that Triangle Bar. Get y'all a real sandwich. A
Oh
real.
man, the triangle. What?
Yeah, yeah. That lets you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah, of
listen.
course. Yeah. I haven't been there. I haven't been there in like maybe 6 months. But yeah, yeah, it's definitely time to go get a triangle sandwich. Definitely.
If you had an opportunity, I ain't gonna say opportunity, let me reword it. What would you tell the new generation? What could you tell them far as what nuggets could you get the new generation far as hip hop?
Know the history. Know the history. Just like with any job that you have, no matter if you go at, McDonald's, what they ass do. Your orientation is sit you in that dark ass room and they make you sit and watch that orientation and how the uh, company was founded. You got to understand how hip hop was founded, who founded it, whom contribute to hip hop, what is hip hop, what are the elements of hip hop, where it came from, how old is it, what is it to be a hip hop artist or to have hip hop in your life, because it's a culture. To understand that hip hop is not just a genre of music, it is a culture, it is a way of life. Understand that hip hop expanded around the world because of some black, Jamaican, and Puerto Rican kids coming together and vibing and putting their flavors in the park and out in the street, black block parties and everything. You got to give it up to the older generation, and not only that, you got to have identity. I know there's a cookie cutter mentality out there when it comes to hip hop today, but if you look and sound and dress like the next rapper out there, please make sure that you actually don't sound like the next rapper out there. Like, it's just depressing. Like, it's like, if I wanted to listen to him, I would listen to him, but you sound like him, but you want me to listen to you, but you sound like him, and he sound like the 300 million other people over there. Like, you got to have some kind of flavor to you. And you don't have to be a gangster to be a hip hop artist. You don't have to. That's not about, like, gangster is a part of hip hop, but it's what gangster are you? Hip hop was made to protect the black and brown people and give expression, not hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to definitely understand hip hop if you're coming into it. And also, aside from identity, just make sure you got your credentials right, your ASCAP, your BMI, make sure you get your writers share.
Business
Make
side.
sure make sure you get your publishing right, learn about the business. It is a business, man. Like, and don't be lazy with it. Don't pay motherfuckers to do your shit, man. Do it on your own, man. Do it on your own. I
So
mean, no disrespect for anybody who pays for it, but I'm just saying that it goes a lot longer and it goes a lot stronger when you can actually maneuver on yourself. You know, Aside from you having an assistant is a person who helps you from you. You can do this shit on your own if you wanted to, but because you have other focuses and other dreams and aspirations, you might not be able to get to it. So you need an assistant for you to do things that you already know that you can do. You just can't do it at the time. So, you know, I just say, you got to grind out there, man. Like, you definitely got to grind, make a name for yourself.
fact. So like the man said, know your business, get the grind hard, and I'm about to dig in the crate and pull out an old word. Stop bite. Be yourself. That's what
Yep.
hip hop. Every hip hop
Or
artist.
wait, an older one,
What's up?
jacking.
That's what we doing.
Give me
Listen,
that beat, fool. It's a full-time jack move.
only on Spotlight Podcast, you gonna get this. I'm trying to tell y'all. Well, man, I appreciate you coming by. You're always welcome back. You got a new project, something you want to rap about. Like I said, I hit you up about that round table. Let your people know. And y'all hit them platforms, hit the YouTube page, check out RapStarr, A.K.A. Hurricane Cam, one of Pittsburgh's finest. And it's like the man said, it's more to Pittsburgh than what is said and what it is. Man, I appreciate you coming. I gotta salute you, man. I appreciate the conversation.
Appreciate you. East Coast is in
Good
the
luck on your
building.
career and everything, my brother.
East Coast is in the building.
Peace. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was another good episode of Spotlight Podcast. I am your host, Rain Rockstar, Mr. What He Gonna Do Next. And man, I just had RapStarr on here, aka Hurricane Cam. Not just dropping knowledge, he dropped some bars. We talked about hip hop. Um, Definitely watch the episode again and learn a little bit more. Learn your business. Don't be like the next man. Don't be like the next woman. And if you say you're an MC, which is master of ceremony, then be that. If you just an entertainer who has showmanship, be that. But whatever you are, be true to it. Know your business, know your history, and everything. And as always, follow me on YouTube at Rain Spotlight 4977, on TikTok Rain underscore 4977, Instagram and Facebook. It's gonna be Rain Rockstar, as well as Twitter X is Rockstar Regime. I got to give a shout out to Carolina Beverage, which is available at carolinaMadeBev.biz or Instagram Carolina Made Beverage. Shout out to Suge Knight Clothing, which is actually what it is, SugeKnightClothing.com. Hit me up. I got a discount code for y'all. And got to give a shout out to Rockin' Vodka. It's more ambassadorships coming. Shout out to Doobie B, Dallas Hub Films. New movie out, short film called Bounty Hunters. And yeah, I got a cameo in it, so we got more to come with that. Hey man, listen, I gotta go. Y'all check me out. It's always something coming. We always got something different for y'all. And I'm gone.